Hey, it's Dr. Amanda with Straightsmile Solutions, straightsmilesolutions.com, and I want to thank the team at Nuvola for giving me these infographics. They told me that I could make content around it, and they said I could share it and say whatever I wanted to. So I'm going to do it. Now, they have not sent me any samples of their appliances. I asked for them, didn't get them. They are based in Italy, so I haven't been able to feel it, touch it. Everything is just based on what marketing materials they gave me. I mean, I get what this is about. So Nuvola is basically an aligner system that also corrects habits, is my understanding. It looks like they have two different ways they do it. One is they put these little like bumpy, pokey things inside the palate of the aligner material to keep the tongue from going forward, and so it goes to the roof of the mouth. Okay, nothing new about that. The other one is they give you almost like a habit corrector device. And by the way, there's plenty of these that are out there from other companies that are based in the US and Europe and other things that you could still, this is nothing new again. And I'm not criticizing Nuvola at all. I'm just saying I've been doing this for 10 years. I've already been doing this with other products, but you can wear these type of appliances over your aligners to help to train a tongue. The problem is, because I've personally tried it, is that it's really bulky. Really bulky. The chance of a patient actually being able to wear it all night long, which is when you really need to, is a little low to no to wear it with the aligners and this. I mean, I don't know, I haven't worn this brand, but I've tried it on other ones and it's bulky. It's better, in my opinion, and in my clinical opinion, and in my experience working on patients, to wear habit correcting devices first, correct the habit, then go into the aligners, and then it's not so bulky because you're not wearing two things at one time. But if you want to bang it out, if you think your kiddo can wear it, I don't know if this is just meant for kids or if it's also meant for kids and adults. Couldn't quite tell from the content they gave me. But in terms of my requests to align technology, I have made requests before, and most of what I've requested actually showed up. I don't know if that was coincidence or not, or just great minds think alike. But I did a deep dive into patents that are out there and IP in terms of what else people are doing for tongue habits. Now, friendly reminder, if you have a tongue thrust, just putting a bunch of pokey things is not going to necessarily fix it. So, and I know that this is not a pokey thing, but this is. Because if your tongue is tethered, having personally been through OMT myo treatment for a tongue thrust, if your tongue is tethered to the floor of the mouth, it's not going to go up to the roof of the mouth. You have to do the exercises, the stretches, and then the release surgery, which to me was a 8-month process and was not entirely a lot of fun. Not the exercises. They were tedious for me. So as somebody who doesn't sit still very well, no, I don't have the patience for that. But I did it and I had the release, and it definitely made a big difference in terms of tongue mobility and tongue positioning and everything, and speech, something that I've been struggling with for a while. And if you go back to my old videos, definitely when I'm tired, sometimes you can hear it coming, but my old videos, 7 years ago, you can definitely hear a difference in the speech. But anyways, pokey things, it's not going to work if your tongue is tethered. So, and you're talking about cervical chiro, a lot of different things. I have a ton of content on this, in terms of tongue thrusts. You're welcome to look into it. This type of thing, again, it can retrain and remind you, but if your tongue is tethered, it's not going to work. So that is a definite fault in the system. And I think people think that just having a reminder is going to fix it, and it's not. I did see two cool things that some other orthodontists are doing for habits, assuming that it's not a tethered tongue and it's just a reminder that you need. I'm not going to post this because it's not my business to post it. It's not my content, but I'm going to give you, it's on the internet. So everything's, free to look at if it's on the internet. So look up the keywords would be resolving tongue habits using clear aligners, learn dentistry. This is Melissa, what's her name? I know she used to work for ClearCorrect. Melissa Chotel. She's an orthodontist. She used to be like one of those KOLs for ClearCorrect way back when. I don't know what she's doing now, but she talks about how she puts tongue tamers. Oh no, she takes if you look by those keywords I just mentioned, she takes the little teardrop puncher that they sell at the ClearCorrect store for doing their slots. And she does it on the back side of the aligner, pushing it up so that it's pokey, pushing up, not pushing down, so that it's kind of sharp. I think that's kind of mean, but Okay. I mean, yeah, it works. I mean, I've also seen people just use, the little cutter, like the little half moon cutter, and then just glue tongue tamers, on the back of each of the teeth, and the aligner fits over. And I've seen people do that. That's nothing new with that. It's just going to be a hassle because every single liner you're going to have to poke it, punch it, or something like that. But I mean, it's definitely doable. I'm not a huge fan of tongue tamers just because I've heard of people swallowing them and then getting stuck in the gut. So not a big fan. I kind of like the one where you build it into the aligners. At least there's no risk. Okay, so that's one. You can look at her. She has a little demo on her website, Learn Dentistry. The other one that I found that was kind of cool, this was researchgate.net publication, inclusion of lingual tongue spurs and clear aligners. Inclusion of lingual tongue spurs and clear aligners. JCO. JCO is Journal of Clinical Orthodontics. And basically, again, I can't show it, sorry, because it's not my website, but this was Neil Kravitz. I've heard of him before. He's an editor, and they showed out how they basically put an attachment on the back of the lower incisors or the upper incisors, but they don't fill the attachment. Instead, what they do is they slice holes in it. So this basically makes it's similar to the other idea, makes it pokey, just like lancet, so that the attachment bubble pokes up and is basically like a tongue spur built into the aligner. This is definitely the coolest one I've seen. Again, kind of mean, but I mean, to me, it seems like the patient's just gonna take the damn aligner off. But that looks pretty innovative, the photo. I was like, oh, that's pretty smart. I wouldn't have thought about that. So they said, in this brilliant pearl, the author stacks lingual attachments when setting up clear aligners with the virtual treatment software. So all the backs of the teeth are gonna get lingual attachments. You just have to ask for them. Don't fill it, then sharpen them to create tongue spurs. So you can use, I'm assuming you just sharpen it, like lance it, and then sharpen it with some type of white stone or it's not gonna be sharp, right? So consider this technique next time you treat or retain a patient with resting tongue pressure. But yeah, again, you're gonna have to do this to all the aligners. It's gonna be like a lot of lab work. It sounds like a lot of work. I mean, it seems like to me, if I were Align Technology or another company, I don't know if there's IP on this. There certainly was IP in the past, but it looks like it's expired. When I did my deep dive into the patents for Align, I mean, it might be, you guys, I'm not a patent attorney, so I don't know. But just digging around, I love to look at Align Technology's patents. It's one of my habits, one of my favorite pastimes, because I like to see what direction they go. I think it's a neat company. Oh, shoot, I own stock in it, so I mean, they always have amazing R&D, but I didn't see much for habits. I didn't really see anything actually, but they are doing some cool stuff. So you should definitely see what direction they're doing things. A lot of stuff with expansion, which I think is great. But if I were an aligner company, I would create IP on this. That's all I can say. Do I personally want to do this? No, because I'm not an aligner company and because it's incredibly expensive to get patents approved and maintain them. I got better things to do. But yeah, again, I'm just saying this based on what I found on the internet, my own clinical opinion. But back to Nuvola, seems like it makes sense. Don't know that it's innovative. Looks like people can just do this themselves by jimmy rigging their own favorite brand of aligner. You don't have to buy it from Italy. There's plenty of appliances that are out here like this. Like I've said, I've used Healthy Start Habit Corrector, great with aligners before. There's U-Concept, there's U-Trainer, there's MyoBrace, MRC, but that's only going to work if the patient can keep their mouth, if their mouth is staying open because the darn thing is so bulky, they're not going to nasal breathe, which really defeats the whole purpose. So, but yeah, I don't have any issues. If you want a referral to Nuvola, I don't get any kickbacks. So I'm glad to send you to the team. They've been very polite and very kind to me. All right. Thanks so much.